It's okay. You don't even have your mic up next to your mouth, but yes, we are back with more top tens. Unless this is the first one, then yeah, that too. Number one.
Well, top 10 what?
I'm just playing.
Oh, yeah,
No,
number one.
Yeah, top 10 performances, guys. And I guess I'll let you kick it off again.
Oh, okay. My top 10 performances of the year 2021. There was a lot of good ones this year. And a few of them should have made the cut that didn't. Some of them, it is what it is. So my number 10 on the top 10 performances of the year goes to Jeremy Irons in House of Gucci. Nice. I think Jeremy Irons
this is another one I didn't watch.
Slaughtered the role, bro.
Fuck.
He was so good in the role. Like the movie, I was mixed about the movie. It got a good score overall, but Jeremy Irons, every time he was on screen, his presence was so like, yeah, this is perfect for him. Like, this is a perfect role for him. Completely believable as the head Gucci family member, but yeah, Jeremy Irons in House of Gucci goes to number 10 spot.
Beautiful. And mine, I thought about making it all like dramatic and shit, like it's the actual Oscars, but I just did a mix of all that. My number 10 actually goes to The Rock in Jungle Cruise. I thought he was immensely likable in this movie. I loved his character. I feel like he slaughtered this role. It was like sometimes The Rock's hit or miss with me. And wrestling, he was like my favorite thing ever. He's got the charisma. We know that. But his movies, even when he's supposed to have charisma, sometimes is miss for me. But in this movie, I feel like his charisma and the character he played was just perfect for him. Everything he did in this movie worked and connected on all cylinders for me. It was like, it was one of those things where, like, I watch him in some movies and he's good, some movies he's bad, but this is one of the few where I felt like I was watching my childhood hero all over again. He just really nailed this role and was perfect in the lead with Emily Blunt. And even, like, her brother was really good, too. Name slips on me, but yeah, The Rock killed this.
If we were to do, like, a top 10 pleasant surprises, Jungle Cruise would definitely be on my list. I did not have any kind of high expectations or hopes for this movie.
Me neither. I was just going to see it because it was like, why not? It might be
Right.
fun. I do like The Rock sometimes. So why not? But yeah, it was better than expected for sure. And The Rock is a big reason for that.
All right. My number 9 goes to Jennifer Lawrence in Don't Look Up. It was so refreshing to see her back on screen. Mm-hmm. It was so nice seeing, and you can tell she hasn't lost a beat. You know what I'm saying?
No,
she has not.
great.
And her character, it's Jennifer Lawrence, but it's something about it is different.
Slightly different. Maybe it's just a look.
I think it is the look. It's the piercing in the nose, maybe. I'm not really sure what it is, but she kills it in this movie. Like, she really speaks her mind in the movie, and every time she spoke her mind, I was just like, oh shit, okay, yeah, good call.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, you got it.
She was like, I don't want to spoil nothing about it, but yeah, Jennifer Lawrence, Don't Look Up is my number 9.
Beautiful. I dig it. My number 9 goes to Don't Look Up as well, but DiCaprio. I think Jennifer Lawrence is also a great pick from this movie. There was some pretty good performances all around. I don't think there's anything like outstanding. That's why it's more at the back of the list. But still, some solid quality shit here from mainly those two. But when I look at it, I think Lawrence and DiCaprio are about the same in likability. And they both had like a freak out scene on air. And I feel like DiCaprio's was like even more intense. So literally that's what made me give it to DiCaprio over Lawrence. And I don't try to like do multiple people from one movie. I like to spread the joy around. So I ended up going DiCaprio. But Lawrence is near the top here too in that movie. She was fucking great.
That's one of the things I fought with in my head real quick was choosing either her or DiCaprio on it. The reason I went with Lawrence over DiCaprio is because DiCaprio, as great as his role was, like, he murdered it per usual.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence brought something else to the table that was a little bit out of her range in a way, and I think her having that disadvantage, whereas Leo is Leo doing his thing. But time. Lawrence, she shined brighter to me because it was something that I really haven't seen her do a character like that before. So yeah, great movie. Y'all
I
need to
can
watch
see
it.
that, but I'm glad we fought the same battle and we came out on different sides because it makes it a little more interesting. Or we would have had the same performance at the exact same point of our list. That'd have been weird.
Imagine all 10 are the same exact,
Mm-hmm.
one for one.
Like what? Wow, thank you, sir. Just give me a
Number
handshake.
8 for me is one I don't think you've had the luxury of seeing yet. Will Smith and King Richard.
No, I haven't.
Oh
I
yeah,
heard it's good. The movie just doesn't really interest me that much, but I will see it. Just 'cause
this
probably
movie.
some good dramaticness there.
Will Smith is going to be. Hear me now. He's going to be nominated
now.
as a best actor for the Oscars. It will be nominated. I do not think he's going to win it, which is unfortunate for him because he's got
He
a
needs
few
to win this
that
shit.
he's overdue for an Oscar.
Yeah.
But it just sucks because he's up against so much talent. As we get further up the list, you'll understand if you've seen it. But there's so many movies out there that I think could beat him, that I think should beat him. But that doesn't take away how good he was as Richard Williams. He killed it as in the role. I think he, basically what's it called? Method acted. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, Smith is so
So,
good when he locks in.
When he really wants to get in there, like for example, Pursuit of Happiness, and
I forgot a movie on something that I just been reminded of. But yeah, the Pursuit of Happiness for sure, and my personal favorite of his, 7 Pounds. I think that movie's so fucking underrated. He murders that movie, and the way it all unwinds and twists to that conclusion, and watching like his emotion during it, and the ultimate sacrifice. It is the way that movie ties up. Is just what the fuck, and crazy and emotional. Great
but yeah,
shit. He
my
can
number 8
murder.
goes to Will Smith, King Richard.
That's the only reason I want to see it, honestly, is because of Will Smith. So I'm like, I just don't
You'll
really
love-
like
you'll
tennis.
love his portrayal.
But, I mean, come on, dude. Will Smith.
Yeah, but
in
you've
a
also got
dramatic
John
role?
Bernthal in there, and you've got oh shit, what's his name? I can't remember, but I can't take too much time. But yeah, you need to see it. I think you'll really like the movie. I don't think you'll love it. So,
Yeah.
Go.
Cool. All right. My number 8 is Florence Pugh in Black Widow. Yeah, for me, this girl just murders it every time she's in something. She's, again, the words I'm using, immensely likable. She is so amazing in this role. I think her accent is like spot on. Her chemistry with everybody, it just feels like she just fit right in, no problem, into this universe, and really everybody did. But you could feel it, man. Like, a lot of people didn't really know enough about her. Like, I mean, a lot of people do that watch movies, but the MCU crowd that isn't big on watching like every movie. They just like, I love my Marvel. You could even feel almost like in the theater, and even the people that are saying they don't like this movie, they're like, she killed it though. And for her, since I'm such a big fan of her work and shit, for her to leave that imprint on the movie, it made it even more special to me. And if she can get some Black Widow action going forward, I'm all for that. So yeah, hell yeah, Florence Pugh.
I can dig it.
Number 8.
My number 7 goes to a movie you haven't seen, and I don't know if you'll watch it or not. But Rachel Zegler in West Side Story playing Maria. Yo,
Eventually, I'm just not a musical guy.
she murders it. She's so good. Her voice is a gift. Like, she can sing so good, and she's so believable
the
as
shit
Maria.
out of it.
Dude, yeah, and she's playing, I think, I want to say Snow White. Or is it Snow White or maybe
I think
another one?
You
There's a
said
Disney,
something.
Yeah,
about
it was an
this, and
article.
I think it was Snow White that you said, if I remember correctly.
But yeah, so she can sing, she can dance, she can do it all. She absolutely kills it in West Side Story. So, and kudos to Steven Spielberg for being able to direct literally any genre he wants to and make it great. So,
Oh yeah, man.
yeah, my number 7, Rachel Zegler, West Side Story.
Dun-it, dun-it, dun-it. Okay, my number 7. This might come out of left field, but Josh Lawson in Mortal Kombat as Kano. I ate up every second this dude was on screen. Honestly, like, we don't get a lot of funny shit anymore. He was one of the funniest, if not the funniest dude on screen to me this year. And the fact, a big reason that helps his performance too, is it wasn't only like funny and awesome, and his fucking timing was amazing, and he was like the perfect Kano, which is great because even though I'm not a big Kano fan, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. So to see a character fleshed out that well is always gonna be entertaining. but also the added imprint of like it came out of nowhere. It came out of left field. I had no idea when I went to see this movie with all y'all opening night that he was going to come in the movie and be absolutely hilarious and steal the show the way he did. And that like surprise factor where I, like in the beginning I was like, okay, maybe this is just, he's getting kind of lucky, but it kept coming left and fucking right, left and right, left and right, and he just lit up the screen every time he's on there. Obviously, another one that's not your best dramatic role, but like I said, I'm doing a mix of just what I found the most entertaining or loved the most. So yeah, what he did for Kano is going to get on my list.
Hell yeah. He was funny as shit. Moving on to number 6. My number 6, it goes to Nicolas Cage in Pig.
Okay. Yeah.
I really found this role very interesting for Nicolas Cage.
Definitely different.
Went into the movie thinking I was going to be watching a John Wick version of a pig stealing.
Yep.
Came out of the movie completely different, but it still blew me away. Adored it. Nicolas Cage, the quiet but firm, like he gets the answers he needs to get. Like he.
Oh yeah, I loved his performance.
Oh man, he was so.
This is one I need to watch.
This is Academy Award level Nicolas Cage here. This is why he's one of the greatest.
You just never know what you're gonna.
Yeah, you really don't. But he just kills it in this. So.
He definitely does. This is one I gave like a really good score to. Not a great score, but as I was watching it, because it wasn't what I was expecting, it was kind of hard to like shift everything back around for me. And I immediately, after it was over, because it was powerful and Nicolas Cage killed it, I was sitting there like just thinking to myself, I'm like, I need to watch this again, because I bet if I do with the right like tempered expectations,
knowing what you going into,
I think I'll love it even more. Because about the halfway point, I was kind of like, what are we even doing here? And then like after the halfway point, I was like, well, maybe it is just this kind of movie. And then like the last 25% of it, I was enjoying it for what it was, and it took too long to get to that point for me.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So I mean, this is a movie that on rewatch has like top 10 of the year potential. If it didn't squeak in, we'll see when we get to the top 10 list. But yeah.
Hell yeah! So
that gets me actually.
Number 5.
Nah, I got number 6.
Huh?
I was piggybacking off your Nicolas Cage. Number 6.
We were, weren't we?
Okay, I almost did that earlier too, dude. I almost did the same thing. I was like, wait a minute, is that? And I was like, oh, never mind. All right. Okay. My number 6. I know nobody cares. I'm just playing. Oh, Walton Goggins and Fat Man.
Yes.
Yes, dude. I mean, he was just phenomenal as the villain. I mean, Mel Gibson, great as always, but Goggins is always like a super underrated actor to me. He's one of my favorites. And, I love when you get his more, like, flamboyant Goggins roles, but sometimes it's so fun going from that, like, on the likes of, like, Vice Principals straight into this, which is about what I did. I watched Vice Principals all the way through for, like, a third time. Amazing show. And then Fat Man dropped, and I'm like, I'm going to jump right into this. And he's playing this, like, darker, more brooding role. And his just,
but
like...
goofy
yeah, like, his, like, just dead-ass stares and, like, do you think... I'm playing with you
his
right
music
now.
choice for his drive.
Yeah, that shit was great. He's like talking to the one girl in the pet store, and she's like, he's like, do you have a hamster? And she's just like, you're not a hamster guy. I know what you'd like. You want this, right? A lizard? No, I know what you'd be a snake guy, wouldn't you? And he's just like, ma'am. He's like, you're just like my mother. She's like, oh, that's nice. He's like, she's dead and talks too much or some shit like that. And I was like, damn. Like, he's just a G that's about his fucking business. And I love, like, all the little quirks they did with him. He was, like, OCD about shit.
Doesn't give a shit that it's Santa.
No.
He has to be a hitman of Santa. Like, he doesn't care about that.
No. And he's got that, like, grudge he's holding against him, too, because he felt like he was left in a horrible situation, in a horrible home. And even but when the final battle goes down, he takes like a car or something and throws it at him. He's like, that's the only thing you ever did for me. Like, it's just a wild fucking story that I think a lot of people didn't like because it's taken really seriously other than a few dry humor scenes. But I actually loved it all the more way for it. Now, that's probably not going to work if you do that, but given the talent they had in it, it did work like a motherfucker. So Goggins, big reason for that. He's on my top 10, number 6.
Hell yeah. My number 5, officially this time, goes to Nicole Kidman
Oh, shit.
in Being the Ricardos, playing Lucy. got to watch this before. I was really wanting to watch this movie before we recorded these videos, and I got to. And
I never got.
let me tell y'all something. That movie, Nicole Kidman is Lucille Ball. Here's the thing: she doesn't really look like Lucy that much, and same with Javier Bardem looking like
yeah, it's awesome. That he's
Ricky, but
the mannerisms,
dude,
and
like
shit.
yeah, but it's just like the acting in this movie. This is an Aaron Sorkin movie. You're gonna get top tier acting in this movie, but she, dude, paints Lucille. I've never seen it's a whole new thing for Lucy now. I'm like, oh, so she's like this in real life. She's not the innocent Lucy that you see in the show. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, oh, so this is what her personality really is. Like she's a boss move like that. She just makes boss moves, and it's just Nicole Kidman killed it.
And
such
I do love
such
Lucy,
a great movie.
the character in the show.
You need to watch this movie.
Yeah,
Tom Brown.
I love this shit growing up, man. So yeah, maybe I do. All right. My number 5 is going to Jared Leto in The Little Things.
Really?
Yes, 100%. I won't say exactly how I feel about this movie, but I think Jared Leto was fucking awesome in this movie. He was great as this serial killer, or whether he is or isn't. Blah, blah, blah. What are we gonna do here? Ooh. But he was definitely creepy as fuck, and he had just like this, again, just effortless like creepiness, but also like, I'm saying this right now, but I really mean this right now, ability in the movie that really fucked with your psyche, where you're like, I know what he means. He means he killed her. He means he did this.
But did he?
Yeah, then it's like, but maybe he didn't. And he just, the look, like just the way he walks around in that like almost janitor outfit and the long shaggy hair, he looks like something out of a nightmare, but like in a realistic way, not like an overdone Hollywood way. Like you can imagine your worst nightmare, but you're like, okay, yeah, but would that really be a serial killer? That's like a monster in a movie. This guy looks like somebody you could turn the page and you're like, oh, that dude's a serial killer, but it's also completely believable. And Leto's performance with it, even though I don't think we got enough of it, I think was amazing in this movie. I love Jared Leto.
Let's not forget, this is an Alfred Hitchcock script.
Yeah.
So this movie had so much potential.
Oh my God.
So much potential. Anyway.
So much potential. Yeah,
all right, we're
Leto.
getting there.
I do love Leto at least.
We're at number 4. I will say Leto was the best part about that movie.
Wow.
So my number 4 best performance of the year goes to Stefania Owen in Paper Spiders.
Oh yeah, you've been talking this one up. I didn't watch this either.
This movie was in my top 10 anticipated of the year, and this movie was amazing. She plays the daughter of a legitimately paranoid, like, I wouldn't say really schizophrenic, but like a super paranoid, like, where it's like, what is the word?
Paranoid, schizophrenic.
She's paranoid. Her mom is paranoid, and the daughter is like trying to deal with it.
There's many a word I could pull from that.
She does so well with this performance, and it's so believable because she's a teenager. She's still going through high school, but she's kind of doing things herself because her mom is the way she is.
Yeah,
and then dealing with her mom's paranoia, which goes
it's like fucking. I almost said aliens.
Dude,
we're all wrong.
It's anxious. It's like an anxious movie. It makes you anxious because the way her mom is, and then the daughter dealing with it. And I don't know. She was just so good in it. So yeah, Stefania Owen for Paper Spiders is my number 4.
I dig that. My number 4 is Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Fuck. I forgot about that movie.
Yeah. And dude, what's his name? Oh my God, what's the other guy? I know his name any other fucking time. Too. He was just as good, and he could have made this list easily, too. But again, like I said, I'm trying to spread the joy around and love. And it was like 50-50 coin flip. But I ended up picking Daniel just because, like, oh, God, even in saying,
dude.
Yeah, even in saying that, dude, I'm like, yeah, but I kind of like the more like under the cracks, like dealing with the cop, Jesse Plemons and shit approach, too. But at the same time, I love just Kaluuya's voice, just like the leader he was in that movie, how powerful he was during his like speeches and shit. and then in the end, like what he had to endure and go through the most there. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about him this movie. He just gave a powerful performance, and it could have went to either of the main stars. It's a great movie.
Daniel's becoming one of those actors to where, and this is very rare in my opinion, but every role he's in, it's like, oh, he was born to play in this role. Yeah. Like, he has picked very, very wise roles. You got Queen and Slim. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
No, I haven't.
You need to get on that. That's a great movie.
It's good.
He was perfect for it.
That's one I forgot about.
This movie, the shit, what's it called? The one you were just talking about.
Oh, I don't remember. I forget.
Damn it.
Judas and the Black
Judas
Messiah.
and the Black Messiah. I was like born for this role. And there's another. Get Out.
Yeah, I was gonna say Get Out. I didn't think that's what you were talking about. But yeah, he was great in it.
Yeah, he's watch out for him Academy wise, because he's gonna end up getting a couple Academy Awards.
He's climbing that ladder, and if y'all missed this one somehow, definitely check it out.
Now, even though I forgot about this movie, there's no way that movie can take over my top 3. They're set in stone for me.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, I guess you're out. Maybe could have been at the back end.
Maybe.
Sorry, Jennifer Lawrence. Get out of here.
So my number 3 goes to Frances McDormand in Nomadland.
Okay.
This
great actress.
Oh God, possibly the greatest, in talks as one of the greatest actresses of all time, in my opinion. But she absolutely kills it in this role. You know, going out, being like homeless, and seeing the country on the street side. Not necessarily like bad streets, but like just seeing like the culture. Getting to see the culture outside of like the city, and it's just beautifully shot. You got Chloe Zhao directing it, which was Frances portrayed her character perfectly. It was just amazing. So I have to give this my number 3 spot. If you haven't seen Nomadland, go check it out. I believe it's Amazon Prime.
Nice.
So
I think you may be right. Number 3 for me, Justin Timberlake and Palmer.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got to throw him in here, man. Just because, again, I have like a more of a sweet spot for this, I guess. Now, Timberlake's already proven himself to some degree, too. But I always love it when the guy that comes out of nowhere, a la, like what I said about Kevin Hart, a la, like, this motherfucker used to be in NSYNC, and now he's doing, like, great performances. When somebody that's just, like, they were born into this world basically as an actor, and that was, like, all they were called to do, and then that's how we first got to meet them, and they turn into that. That's amazing to me. But you always get a little bit of an extra edge if you're just like, damn, dude, you conquered this, and then you came over to this, and nobody took you seriously, because 90 out of 100 times it fails when people try to do this. But you're in that 10% range, and you just show out, and then you get like a definitive, like real performance like this. I just love seeing it, and I think he was perfect for the role. Like he did get downright emotional in a few scenes, but he just has that ability to like also be subtle while also like showcasing everything he's going through, just from facial expressions and everything else. Great directed movie, great visually in terms of not like, oh, it's flashy visually, but visually and like just cinematography. It really paints the tone and all that very well. It's just a great all-around movie. Timberlake was perfect to lead it.
He did really well in that movie.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
I thought about choosing the kid, too, honestly.
Yeah, the kid could have done it, but I think Timberlake stole the show in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like his character was very believable.
And the arc of everything was just great. Yeah.
Yeah. My number 2 goes to Rebecca Hall in The Night House.
Oh, look at you.
Yes, dude. The Night House.
So you're a big fan of her, then.
Rebecca Hall. Dude, she just lost her husband. She's going through, depression and anxiety mixed along with, sadness. And it's just her portrayal was perfection on the level of seeing the shit that she saw. And it was believable, like, I could see her seeing something like that, and even like tricking herself in all the things that she was doing. She was alone in that cabin house. Her reactions were believable. She scared me.
Yeah.
So it has to go to her. She was a very, very powerful powerful performance in that movie.
Yeah, she surprised me for sure. How good she was in that. And then I started thinking back on like the few other movies, and
The Town.
she has that like effortlessly likable ability too, which is funny because I was thinking back and I forgot all about her being in like Godzilla vs Kong.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, but the mom and the daughter, they were actually pretty good. They weren't amazing, but they were pretty good.
With the deaf daughter.
Yeah. And then I started thinking back on it more. I'm just like, these movies have literally not produced a likable fucking character other than Bryan Cranston. That is the only one I can think of that I legitimately was like, oh, I really enjoyed this character. Every other one is just like passable to bad characters to me. And then you bring in her and the daughter, and I'm like, the fact that they were just like good, that says something for these movies. So that made me think on that a little more too.
I liked Vera Farmiga until she fucking turned like into a complete idiot, spoiling the plan like she did, and then just going completely villain. It was like, what?
But even then, that's what I'm talking. It was just, like for her, she'd probably be like my next favorite character amongst everything. But she was just like passable to me. Like I was like, anybody else could do this really. But yeah. So, I mean, yeah, good on her. I like Vera a lot anyway, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, I don't know. That just says something about Rebecca Hall. But my number 2 is going to go to Vanessa Kirby in Pieces of a Woman. She just murdered this role, dude. Absolutely murdered it. I've seen some people say Shia actually stole the show, and I don't see that at all.
It's such a tough debate in my own head, but
Shia was great, and Shia's my boy, and I know he's your boy too. But at the end of the day, if you watch this movie and the full-on character arc and who the story is about, it's hard to not give this to Kirby. Like she fucking murdered this role, and the things she went through, just like being like. Not only like just losing her child, but then having to like look at her husband and find a way to cope with that and dealing with that, which Shia obviously went through too. But then Shia also did some things that are pretty questionable as time went on. But, he did feel pain too, where he felt cast aside. And then everything she went through with like the pressures of like, hey, put this girl away. The stuff with her mom, just everything firing at her on all cylinders. And she just somehow stood firm and didn't break, even though she was like emotionally falling apart. You could see it the entire movie, and she was trying to hold it all in, going to like that final scene where she's like, I'm okay. Like you could just feel it. Like I might not ever be right, but I can finally like move past this and know I'm fine. It's just a powerful performance and a powerful fucking movie. I loved her role in this, and this honestly could be number 1. 1 and 2 are interchangeable for me.
Hell yeah. My number 1, drum roll, as I say, Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom.
Okay, I thought you were going to say fucking No Way Home. I was like,
No.
Damn, dude, I know you like the performance, but
No,
shit.
Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom was absolutely incredible. The man can sing, and he can hit high, low, mid. It don't matter. He killed it. The performance that he did was unbelievable. It was anxious. It was funny. It was sad. It was everything. He took this role as his own, and he killed it. And it's a musical. Tick, Tick, Boom's a musical. So, they're singing and shit throughout the movie that some of y'all might not like. But, dude, I'm telling you, this performance was absolutely, I couldn't look away from the screen. So, my number 1 goes to Andrew Garfield and Tick, Tick, Boom.
Beautiful. My number 1 goes to Louis Tan in Mortal Kombat. And I'm just...
Oh, my God.
Now, I know I said I wouldn't do 2, but good God, his performance was so good I had to do 2 from the same movie. There's a lot of great actors in this. No, even though I did like him. Rebecca Hall, dude, in The Night House is my number 1. Yes. This movie was solid, but what elevated it times 10 was Rebecca Hall's performance, man. Like there's movies that pull me away, like aside, and it's like, damn, bro, like, wow, like this is a great performance. And there's movies that pull me aside, I'm like, this guy's got some charisma. But when you have like both of those things, like where you're not just following the lead just in terms of like, okay, I'm following the story, but you care about the person on a level almost like you know them, that is so fucking rare. And the last person to do this to me was Danny fucking in Midsommar. She had that type of impact on me, and if you know how much I love that performance from Florence Pugh, you'd understand like how big that is for me. She absolutely murdered this role. I fell in love with it, and I can watch it even though like it's one of those slow burns. You almost feel like you only need to watch once. I can watch it over and over again because of her performance. Like I'm so attracted to her. Not saying that in a sexual way, but like just attracted to her, like in like just everything that she is like on the screen. Like I'm just like mouth gaped. Like what's she gonna say next? What's gonna happen? Like just her mannerisms and how she handles things. She's just the fucking shit, and that's my favorite performance of the year.
Hell yeah. Much love to the Night House.
Yeah, we're over here praising that a little bit. Anyways, guys, performances.